What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing something absolutely insane. I'm taking you on a journey to a country that looks like it's straight out of a fairy tale. We're talking about Austria, a place with some of the most breathtaking landscapes I have ever seen in my entire life. From massive snow-capped mountains that touch the clouds to cities that are literally living history museums, this country has it all. We're going to explore everything, from imperial palaces that will blow your mind to tiny villages hidden away by crystal-clear lakes. This isn't just a travel guide, this is an adventure. We're going to uncover the secrets of Austria's rich cultural heritage, see some of the most vibrant cities you can imagine, and maybe even find some hidden gems along the way. I want you to feel like you're right here with me, experiencing the epic scale of the Alps, the charm of the ancient streets, and the incredible food. I've packed this video with 15 of the most unbelievable destinations in Austria that you absolutely cannot miss. So buckle up, because this is going to be one of the biggest videos we've ever made. We're about to dive deep into a world of stunning beauty, incredible history, and non-stop adventure. Are you ready to have your mind blown by the beauty of Austria? I promise you, by the end of this video, you'll be booking your own ticket. Let's get this journey started. All right. First up on our insane Austrian tour is the capital city, Vienna. And let me tell you, this place is on a whole other level. Walking through Vienna feels like you've stepped back in time to when emperors and empresses ruled the world. The buildings are so massive and detailed, it's hard to even comprehend how they built them centuries ago. We're talking about jaw-dropping imperial palaces, grand opera houses, and cathedrals that stretch up to the sky. We had to start at the legendary Schönbrunn Palace. This place was the summer home for royalty, and it's unbelievably huge, with over 1,400 rooms. We explored the gardens, which are bigger than some towns I've been to, and even saw the world's oldest zoo. Then, we went to the heart of the city to see St. Stephen's Cathedral. Climbing the tower was a serious workout, but the view from the top, absolutely worth it. You can see the entire city spread out below you, a crazy mix of ancient rooftops and modern life. But Vienna isn't just old buildings. The art scene here is buzzing with energy. We visited museums packed with priceless masterpieces and saw street art that was just as impressive. And the coffee houses. They're a huge part of the culture here. You can just sit for hours, sipping on coffee and eating some of the best pastries you'll ever have in your life. Vienna is the perfect mix of epic history and cool modern vibes, and it's an absolute must-see. We are just getting started, and this city has already set the bar incredibly high. Next up, we're heading to the city that gave the world Mozart and the sound of music, Salzburg. As soon as you arrive, you can feel the creative energy in the air. The entire city is like a perfectly preserved masterpiece of Baroque architecture, nestled right beside a river, with a massive fortress watching over everything from a giant cliff. It's one of the most picturesque places I've ever been. Everywhere you turn, there's a beautiful square, a charming alleyway, or a stunning church. It's unreal. Of course, the first thing we had to do was visit Mozart's birthplace. It's a bright yellow building right in the middle of a busy shopping street. And it's crazy to think that one of the greatest composers in history grew up right there. We walked through the rooms where he lived and composed his first pieces of music. It felt like walking through history. Then, we made the trek up to the Hohensalzburg fortress. This thing is enormous and has stood for over 900 years. The views from the top are absolutely insane, looking out over the entire city, the river, and the mountains in the distance. But Salzburg is more than just its history. The city is alive with music. You can hear classical concerts being performed in ancient churches and see street musicians on every corner. We explored the Mirabell Gardens, where parts of The Sound of Music were filmed, and it felt like we were literally in the movie. The combination of stunning architecture, incredible musical history, and the epic fortress looming overhead makes Salzburg a place you will never, ever forget. It's a city that truly sings. Okay, I need you to prepare yourselves for this next one, because it might be the most beautiful place I have ever seen in my entire life. We've arrived in Hallstatt, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this village looks like it was created by an artist for a fantasy movie. It's a tiny cluster of 16th century houses clinging to the side of a mountain, right on the edge of a crystal-clear mirror-like lake. The whole scene is framed by massive towering peaks. It's so perfect it almost doesn't look real. Getting here is an adventure in itself, but once you arrive and see that iconic view for the first time, you'll understand why millions of people dream of coming here. We spent hours just walking through the narrow, winding streets, with swans gliding past on the lake below. We hiked up to the Hallstatt Skywalk, a viewing platform that hangs 350 meters over the village. The feeling of standing up there, looking down at the tiny houses and the vast lake, is absolutely indescribable. It's a core memory moment for sure, but there's more to Hallstatt than just its insane beauty. This area is home to the world's oldest salt mine. We put on some miner's gear and went deep inside the mountain on a tiny train. We learned about the thousands of years of history hidden underground, and even slid down these long wooden slides that the miners used. It was so much fun. From the breathtaking views above to the ancient secrets below, Hallstatt is a place that captures your heart and doesn't let go. This place is 100% a real-life fairy tale. We just drove into the heart of the mountains, and let me tell you, it is absolutely epic. Welcome to Innsbruck, the city that is literally surrounded by the towering peaks of the Alps. This place is the ultimate playground for anyone who loves adventure and the outdoors. In the winter, it's a world-class skiing destination, and in the summer, it's a paradise for hikers and mountain bikers. The fact that you can be in a beautiful historic city one minute and then on top of a 2,000-meter mountain the next is just mind-blowing. The Old Town, or Altstadt, is incredibly charming. It's a maze of colorful medieval buildings and narrow cobblestone streets. The most famous landmark here is the Golden Roof, or Goldenes Dakel. It's a balcony on an old building, and its roof is covered in over 2,600 gilded copper tiles that shine in the sun. It was built for an emperor to sit and watch tournaments in the square below. It's just one of those unique things you have to see to believe. But the real star of the show in Innsbruck is the mountains. We took a series of cable cars, the Nordkette funicular, straight from the city center all the way up to the Haflickar Peak. The journey itself is an adventure, but the view from the top is genuinely life-changing. You have the entire city laid out like a map on one side, and on the other an endless sea of jagged, snow-dusted alpine peaks. It makes you feel so small in the best way possible. Innsbruck is the perfect blend of city life and raw, untamed nature. After being in the high Alps, we've come to Austria's second-largest city, Graz, and the vibe here is completely different, but just as awesome. Graz is a city of contrasts. On one hand, you have one of the best-preserved historic city centers in all of Europe, a UNESCO World Heritage Site filled with stunning Renaissance courtyards and red-tiled roofs. On the other hand, you have some of the most futuristic, mind-bending modern architecture I've ever seen. It's this crazy cool mix that makes Graz so unique. The heart of the city is the Schlossberg, a massive hill right in the middle of town with an iconic clock tower at the top. We climb the winding stairs to the top, and the view is incredible. You can see the entire sea of red roofs of the old town spread out below. But what's really wild is looking down and seeing the Kunsthaus Graz, the modern art museum. The locals call it the friendly alien because it looks like a giant blue bioluminescent creature that landed in the middle of the city. It's such a bold and bizarre piece of architecture, and I love it. Graz is also a huge university town, so it has this super vibrant, youthful energy. The streets are filled with students, the cafes are always buzzing, and there's a really cool, creative atmosphere everywhere you go. We explored the Landesjughaus, which is the world's largest original armory, with over 32,000 pieces of armor and weapons. It feels like you've walked into the prop department for Game of Thrones. Graz is a city that surprises you at every turn, and its blend of history and innovation is seriously impressive. If you're looking for a place that has literally every outdoor activity you can possibly imagine, all in one stunning location, then you have to come to Zell am See. This place is an adventurer's paradise. You have this massive crystal-clear lake, Zell, that is so blue it looks like Gatorade. And surrounding the entire lake is a backdrop of gigantic, glacier-capped mountains. The scenery is just off the charts beautiful, and it's the kind of place where you just want to be outside from sunrise to sunset. In the summer, this place is all about the water. We rented a boat and just cruised around the lake, taking in the insane 360-degree views of the mountains. You can go swimming, paddleboarding, kayaking, anything you can think of. Then, you can take a cable car right from the town up to the top of the Schmittenhohe mountain for some of the best hiking trails and panoramic views you'll ever experience. You can literally be swimming in the lake in the morning and hiking on a mountain peak in the afternoon. And it's not just a summer destination. In the winter, Zell transforms into a massive ski resort, connected to other huge ski areas like Kaprun, where you can even ski on the Kitzsteinhorn Glacier almost all year round. The town itself is super charming, with a lovely promenade along the lake and tons of great restaurants and shops. Zell is one of those places that proves you can have it all: the lake, the mountains, and non-stop adventure. This place is a must for any thrill seeker. Get ready to have your mind absolutely blown, because we've arrived at one of the most magnificent and over-the-top buildings in the entire world. This is Melk Abbey, and it's not just a church. It's a colossal Baroque masterpiece perched on a rocky cliff overlooking the legendary Danube River. The sheer scale and opulence of this place are hard to put into words. From a distance, it looks like a golden palace floating above the landscape. It is, without a doubt, one of the most stunning examples of Baroque architecture you will ever see. As we walked through the gates, every detail just screamed grandeur. We explored the imperial corridor, a long hallway filled with portraits of Austrian emperors, and then we entered the marble hall. The ceiling is covered in a massive, vibrant fresco that looks so real it feels like the heavens are opening up above you. The use of color and gold is just overwhelming, but the highlight, the place that made my jaw hit the floor, was the library. It felt like walking into a scene from Beauty and the Beast. The library at Melk Abbey is a treasure. It has towering, polished wood shelves filled with thousands of priceless ancient manuscripts. The ceiling is another breathtaking fresco, and the whole room just glows with this warm, golden light. It's a sanctuary of knowledge and art that has been preserved for centuries. Standing in that room, you can almost feel the weight of all the history and wisdom it holds. Melk Abbey isn't just a building. It's a work of art on a scale that is almost impossible to comprehend. This place is pure magic. After seeing the insane Melk Abbey, we're now exploring the region it overlooks, the stunning Wachau Valley. This entire valley, stretching for about 40 kilometers along the Danube River, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is absolutely one of the most beautiful landscapes in Austria. Imagine steep terraced vineyards climbing up the hillsides, dotted with the ruins of ancient castles, and charming little winemaking villages tucked along the riverbank. It's a picture-perfect scene that looks like it belongs on a postcard. The best way to experience the Wachau Valley is, without a doubt, on the water. We hopped on a river cruise that took us from Melk down to the town of Krems. Floating down the Danube with the lush green vineyards on either side and historic castles appearing around every bend is such a relaxing and incredible experience. You pass by famous spots like the ruins of Dürnstein Castle, where Richard the Lionheart was famously imprisoned. The history in this valley is just as rich as the wine. And speaking of wine, the Wachau Valley is world famous for it, especially its crisp white wines like Gruner Veltliner and Riesling. The steep sun-drenched terraces create the perfect conditions for growing grapes. We stopped in the beautiful village of Dürnstein, with its iconic blue church tower, and visited a local winery. Tasting the wine right where it was grown while looking out at the vineyards and the river was an unforgettable experience. The Wachau Valley is a perfect blend of natural beauty, deep history, and delicious wine. All right, adventure seekers, this next one is for you. We are about to drive on what is easily one of the most epic and dramatic roads on the entire planet. This is the Grossglockner High Alpine Road, and it's an absolute masterpiece of engineering that winds its way through the heart of Hohetauer National Park, right up to the base of Austria's highest mountain, the Grossglockner. This isn't just a road, it's an experience that will leave you speechless. The drive itself is insane. The road has 36 hairpin turns, and with every single turn, the view gets more and more spectacular. You climb higher and higher, passing through lush green meadows, dense forests, and then suddenly, you're above the tree line in a rugged, rocky world of ice and snow. We stopped at so many of the designated viewpoints along the way because we just couldn't believe what we were seeing. You're literally driving above the clouds with panoramic views of dozens of 3,000-meter peaks all around you. The ultimate destination on this road is the Kaiser Franz Josefs Hohe Visitor Center. From here, you get a direct, jaw-dropping view of the Grossglockner Peak and the Pastersee, Austria's largest glacier. Seeing a massive river of ice like that snaking its way down the valley is a powerful and humbling sight. We even saw some marmots, these cute little alpine animals scurrying around. Driving the Grossglockner High Alpine Road is a true pilgrimage for any nature lover or driving enthusiast. The scale of this landscape is something you have to see to believe. We're back by the Danube River, but this time we're in a city that's all about looking forward. This is Linz, Austria's third largest city, and it has carved out a super cool identity as a hub for technology, media arts, and innovation. While it still has a beautiful and charming old town square, Linz is a city that isn't afraid to be modern and different. It was even named a European capital of culture, and you can feel that creative and forward-thinking spirit everywhere. The most iconic symbol of modern Linz is the Ars Electronica Center, also known as the Museum of the Future. The building itself is incredible, a glass cube that lights up at night with a spectacular, ever-changing display of LED lights reflecting on the Danube River. Inside, it's even cooler. It's not your typical museum. It's a playground of interactive exhibits focused on technology, artificial intelligence, and digital art. We spent hours playing with the exhibits, and it was so much fun. It really makes you think about where the world is heading. Right across the river is the Lentos Art Museum, another stunning piece of modern architecture that also glows at night. During the day, we walked along the Danube riverfront, which is a massive park space where people hang out, ride bikes, and relax. Linz also has a vibrant music scene and a ton of unique festivals. It's a city that has successfully blended its industrial past with a high-tech, artistic future, creating a place that feels energetic, innovative, and completely unique in Austria. Okay, if you are a serious skier or snowboarder, this next place is your heaven on earth. Welcome to St. Anton am Arlberg, widely known as the cradle of alpine skiing. This isn't just a ski resort. It's a legendary destination with some of the most challenging and exhilarating terrain in the world. The mountains here are massive, rugged, and absolutely breathtaking. The village itself is a charming, traditional Tyrolean town. But don't let that fool you. The skiing here is for people who are ready for a serious challenge. The Arlberg ski area is one of the largest in the world, connecting several resorts and offering over 300 kilometers of marked ski runs. But what really makes St. Anton famous is its off-piste or backcountry skiing. The amount of powder-filled, expert-level terrain is practically endless. We hired a guide and ventured into some of the bowls and couloirs, and it was one of the most intense and rewarding skiing experiences of my life. The snow was deep, the views were epic, and the adrenaline was pumping. But the St. Anton experience doesn't end when the lifts close. This place is just as famous for its après-ski culture, which is basically the party after a day of skiing, and they take it seriously here. We checked out some of the legendary on-mountain bars like the Mooserwurt and the Crazy Kangaroo, where hundreds of people in ski boots are dancing on tables to loud music as the sun goes down. It's a wild, high-energy scene that's all part of the fun. St. Anton is the ultimate destination for hardcore skiers who also love a good party. We've traveled all the way to the sunny south of Austria to a city with a completely different, almost Mediterranean vibe. This is Klagenfurt, the capital of the Carinthia region, and it's located on the eastern shore of the stunning Lake Wörthersee. The water in this lake is a crazy turquoise color, and it's one of the warmest alpine lakes, making it an amazing summer destination. The city itself has a beautifully preserved old town with Italian-style architecture and a super relaxed atmosphere. The heart of the old town is the Neuer Platz, or New Square, which is dominated by a massive legendary fountain of a dragon, the Lindwurm. The legend says a dragon once terrorized the area, and it's become the symbol of the city. The old town is filled with beautiful Renaissance courtyards, boutique shops, and amazing cafes. We just wandered for hours, soaking up the laid-back, sunny vibe. it feels a world away from the high Alpine peaks we were just in. One of the most unique and fun attractions near Klagenfurt is Mini-Mundus, the small world on Lake Wörthersee. It's a miniature park with over 150 incredibly detailed models of famous buildings, ships, and trains from all around the world. You can see the Eiffel Tower, the Statue of Liberty, and the Sydney Opera House all in one afternoon. It's so well done and makes you feel like a giant. Klagenfurt, with its beautiful lake, charming old town, and quirky attractions, is a perfect spot to relax and enjoy the sunnier side of Austria. Our next stop takes us to the far western edge of Austria, to a city that sits on the shores of a massive lake shared by 3 countries. This is Bregenz, located on the beautiful Lake Constance. While the city is charming and the lake offers all kinds of recreation, Bregenz is world famous for one of the most insane and creative artistic venues I have ever seen in my life, the Seebühne, or the floating stage. This isn't just a stage by the water, it's a colossal, mind-blowing structure that is literally built on the lake. Every summer, the Bregenz Festival puts on a huge opera or musical production, and they build a new, unbelievably elaborate set for it every 2 years. These sets are monumental works of art. We're talking giant heads, massive hands rising from the water, or huge, intricate structures that really defy imagination. The audience sits in an open-air amphitheater on the shore, and the performance takes place on the lake with the sunset as a backdrop. Even just seeing the stage during the day without a performance is absolutely awe-inspiring. Beyond the festival, Bregenz is a lovely city to explore. We took the Vanderbahn cable car up to the top of Vander Mountain, which gives you an incredible panoramic view of the entire lake, and the point where Austria, Germany, and Switzerland meet. You can see for miles across the water into the neighboring countries. The combination of the beautiful lakeside setting and the sheer artistic ambition of the floating stage makes Bregenz a truly unique and unforgettable destination. We're heading back into the heart of the Tyrolean Alps, but this time to a place with a different kind of winter sports reputation. This is Seefeld, a beautiful and charming village perched on a high, sunny plateau. While it has great downhill skiing, Seefeld is world-renowned as one of the absolute best places on the planet for cross-country skiing. The network of trails here is massive and immaculately groomed, winding through pristine forests and snowy valleys with breathtaking mountain views in every direction. We decided to give cross-country skiing a try, and it's an incredible way to experience the winter landscape. It's a serious workout, but it's also so peaceful and beautiful. You're gliding silently through the snow-covered woods, with nothing but the sound of your skis and the crisp mountain air. The scenery is just postcard perfect. Seefeld has hosted the Winter Olympics multiple times for Nordic events, so you know the quality of the trails is world-class. It's an amazing alternative to the hustle and bustle of the big downhill resorts. But Seefeld isn't just for winter. In the summer, those same trails become a paradise for hikers and mountain bikers. The village itself is super charming and upscale, with a lovely pedestrian zone filled with high-end shops, hotels, and cafes. It has a very relaxed and sophisticated atmosphere. We took a horse-drawn carriage ride around the nearby Wild Sea Lake, which was a perfect way to take in the scenery. Seefeld is the ideal spot for those who want to actively enjoy the stunning alpine nature in a beautiful, tranquil setting. For our final stop, we've come to the historic town of Krems an der Donau, which marks the eastern gateway to the magnificent Wachau Valley that we explored earlier. Krems is one of Austria's oldest cities, and its historic center is a beautifully preserved labyrinth of cobblestone streets, old city gates, and charming townhouses. It has a rich history as a major trading and wine-producing center, and you can feel that heritage as you walk through its ancient streets. It's the perfect bookend to a journey through this incredible region. The town is built on a series of terraces rising up from the Danube, and its old town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site along with the rest of the valley, is a joy to explore. We walked through the Steiner Tor, the last remaining medieval city gate, which is an iconic symbol of the town. Krems is also known for its art and culture scene, with a whole art mile featuring museums and galleries, and a caricature museum that was surprisingly hilarious. It has a great, authentic vibe that feels less crowded than some of the more famous tourist spots. Of course, being at the edge of the Wachau Valley, wine is a huge part of life in Krems. The surrounding hills are covered in vineyards, and the town is filled with Hurigen, which are traditional wine taverns run by local vintners where you can sample the latest harvest. It's the perfect place to sit back, enjoy a glass of local Gruner Veltliner, and reflect on the incredible journey we've had across Austria. Krems is a beautiful, historic town that perfectly captures the essence of Austria's wine country. And that is a wrap on 15 of the most insane and beautiful places in Austria. I am honestly blown away by this country. We've seen everything from the imperial grandeur of Vienna and the musical magic of Salzburg, to the fairy tale village of Hallstatt and the epic cloud-piercing Grossglockner high Alpine road. Every single one of these destinations was a unique adventure, and I feel so lucky to have been able to share this incredible journey with all of you. Austria is a country that will challenge you, inspire you, and leave you with memories that will last a lifetime. I cannot recommend this country enough. If you are looking for a place that has stunning mountains, crystal-clear lakes, incredible history, and amazing cities, you have to add Austria to your travel bucket list. I promise you, it will exceed every expectation you have. This has been one of my favorite trips ever, and I'm already dreaming about coming back to explore even more. There's just so much to see and do here, you could spend months and still not see it all. Now, I want to hear from you. Out of the 15 places we visited, which one was your absolute favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And if you've been to Austria and have a favorite spot that we missed, share it so we can all add it to our lists. As always, if you enjoyed this adventure, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one, and turn on notifications. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.